Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? This may be a standalone video. It may be part of the cradle video. Not quite sure yet. I built this cradle about a month ago, and this cradle is meant to go with that bench right there. I have these smart power locks that I ordered from Tissot, and I built the cradle from Ron's plans. Made mistakes because I wasn't following the plans, or I followed them so closely that I didn't allow for the fact I had a different saw. It's not thinking. However, nothing was critical, and I was able to kind of modify on the fly and make it work. Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? Hey, exciting times. So one thing I'm going to be doing today and that is to build a cradle. It's called a smart cradle, I think. And it's where you can put tools in the cradle, hang them off the bench. I'm going to be building this for a table saw, just like in the picture. Now, with that being said, I've ran into a problem over the past probably 3 or 4 jobs, and that I have my old compact bench that I built. It's like Ron Paulk's version 2. I integrated the electrical conduit pipes to where I can take my table saw and I hang them off the pipes that come out of the inside of the bench. So my table saw hangs on that. I probably have a bunch of videos showing that setup. With that being said, if I don't have that bench with me, then if I want to set my table saw up, I have to use my scissor stand, which is no big deal. I always carry it on board, and that's exactly why I do that. However, for the past few jobs when I have needed a table saw, I really didn't necessarily need that great big 100-pound bench. I would have preferred to take my 60-pound bench, and it would have worked fine. But I don't have a cradle, and that doesn't have the pipes in it, and so I would have no way to integrate my table saw with that bench exactly. And when I set that scissor stand up, right, I don't know where DeWalt got their numbers from, but it is not at a 36-inch height. It's like at a 32-inch height or something like that. But that table saw then, when it's up, does not line up with that bench, because that bench is 36, which is a comfortable height to work. That bench is 36 inches off the ground at the surface. Had I just made this cradle 4 months ago, I would have had several jobs to where that bench could have gone with me. I could have easily used the table saw. Some critical numbers: the height of the tool, of course, and then the depth of the tool. And this is going to allow you to make the sides, and you make the sides first. The sides also have a built-in number. On his video, he says it's 96 millimeters, and I'm going to do all this in millimeters. It's easy. That 96 allows for room behind the tool, connecting like vacuum hoses or whatever. So you're going to have some space behind the tool anyway. So I have this sheet of fall off, and this is the lightweight plywood that I'll make the sides out of. For the bottom, I'm going to have to use actually BC. It's not AC and it's not CDX. I've got BC plywood. Don't know where I got it. But that's all I have, and that's what I'm going to have to make the bottom out of. So the first thing you need to do, make the side. The sides will help dictate the rest of the construction. This can be used as a router template for the other one. That way I don't have to necessarily do all that saw work again. I can simply set up a router with a pattern bushing and then just go to town quickly using this as my template. Not bad. I'll clean up this one. Template is very clean. This one had a slight router problem with that 1/4 inch, and I'll clean this one up. And I have to, I like that rounding, by the way. This one does not have it. They'll be on opposite sides. You'd never actually see it. I don't know as I'm even going to bother to do anything with it, but I may clean it up. There are the sides. Now I believe it's the bottom, and then the back, and then there's a top plate that actually sits down and indexes on the bench, and that'll actually get the dog holes. Yay. So now it's pre-drilling and assembly. I believe I can, I'm going to have to check the video, but I believe I can assemble everything but the very top. This one I need to lay out with a parf guide and make sure that I am actually in alignment with my dog holes in that bench. This will also have a couple of through dog holes, and that way you just have a little bit of an ability for layout or something along those lines. However, I think I can do this in place with this attached to it. Then I can simply just see these dog holes, see through, and just drill down through carefully and know that they're all lined up as well. I think. I'm going to check the video. But other than that, I can assemble the back and the sides. I still have screws left, so I'm going to go ahead and use the expensive screws. And I'm going to use this particular system right here for pre-drilling, and then I'm going to use the screws that I bought for this kit, and I will assemble with those screws. I know I don't need to, but at least the visible screws, it looks nice. So because I can, I'm going to start assembly because I'm kind of anxious. I should go get some glue, and then I can do the sides, the bottom, and the back. I don't know about these two tops yet. I have to figure out how I can do the dog holes. So I'm going to watch that video for that part. Also, I do need to take, my bottom's right down here, I do need to actually kind of relieve some out of the bottom because you don't need all that plywood. So I'll actually do that. And I can probably do that with a router, actually. Yeah, I can do that with a router and just some temporary pieces. So I'll do that, because that'll be just as, well, no. I think it'll be just as easy to do it with a track saw and with the jigsaw this time, because I only have one piece. now would be a good time to fit the saw to see if it actually fits, because I did not have the right size plywood for the base. So I should be wide enough for the whole saw, you know, like wide enough. But as far as depth, you know, like when you feed the saw, the depth of the saw, I am about 1.5 inches shy. You can see where I'm missing material there. I can go ahead and put material in there if for some reason the feet are catching there, and I can certainly make sure that that is solid and secure. This is the first of 2, and you know, the other one I will have the appropriate materials for. This one today, I'm like, I gotta build this thing, so I'm building it with what I have. And we'll see. But now I gotta fit the saw. If that saw doesn't fit, man, that's gonna be a pain in. It's gonna be a pain in the caboodle if that saw doesn't fit. Well, let's figure it out. Unexpectedly, what I should have done is temporarily assembled it, even if I used brads to temporarily assemble it. Before I cut the base out, cut that square out of the base, set the saw in, mark where the feet were, and then, because the front feet actually are hitting, you know, this is not bad. I still will put a piece in here just because it's flexibility. However, I need like 2 inches on the inside. 2 inches. So that means I'm going to have to fill the inside. So I'm going to have to not only cut a block here, but cut a block back in there, and then pocket, you know, glue it and pocket screw it. Again, not a problem. I'm actually this saw right now is a little bit low, and so I'm going to have to shim the saw up just a little bit so I have a smooth outfeed. Once I get this front piece on, and then I get the inside filled where I need, I can take a piece of 1/4 inch, make the rectangle, fit it to the inside so it's perfectly fitting on the inside, and I can glue that entire surface. A little bit more work to do on it, but this will work, and now I know what I don't want to do when I build the next one for the other saw. If they're the same dimensions, actually I'm almost going to start from scratch. This is proof of concept that I know how to build one, and now I know where the pitfalls are, so I'm going to have better height measurements there for the back. Mark the inside so I know where the feet are going to sit so I don't take that material out. I'm going to completely miss where the fence comes out, so that notch is great, so the sides work. Okay, proof of concept. I'm still going to finish this one. That's not a problem because I do want to use it, and that'll be nice to put that 3/4 in there. It'll kind of give me it'll look seamless from the top. From the bottom you'll see the infrastructure, but it'll work. All right, problem solving. Love it. Not that I like creating problems, but when the problems arise, there we go. And I built one, almost. I still have the top to do because I have to drill the dog holes. That's not a problem. I'll do that. All right, it was actually very easy to get right into it. Now I haven't drilled anything yet. 32 up, 96 in, and then this thing, and what I did was, I came over here, another 32 up line, and then I just used the Parf Guide ruler, and I just made a straight mark. So this is parallel with the edge. I did the same thing up here, and then all I have to do is 96 in. So where you see that center is right there, that's where the Parf Guide wants to go. I've already laid one out right there. You see that's the center, the intersection between 32 and 96. Then what'll happen is these automatically index all the way over, and you can see that I have that line drawn, so all I need to do is know that I'm centered on that line, and then the index holes at 96 on center will take care of themselves all the way across. fixed and functional except for placing the top. I filled in this nose, although I didn't need to. I just went ahead and did it. And importantly, I filled in this back section, and there you go. You can see back in there, that's how far I missed, because I was going by the plans, and the plans are set up for not this saw. So anyway, that's going to be okay. Sorry, got interrupted by the boss. All right, so this is what I've done. There is the cradle. The cradle basically is finished. Unless I need to shim up the saw just a little bit, that's it. Very, very solid. So with the construction of this, what this does for me is this bench is now fully authorized to go with me on job sites, and it eliminates the need for my old bench to go with me, because that is my table saw outfeed using the rail system. And now this bench is my table saw outfeed. Long time in coming. Should have been done much earlier, but I'm happy to have it done now. So here's some plywood. Zzz, okay, saw's running. Coming through, and beautiful. I miss this deck. So this is what I wrapped up today to get this cradle perfectly done at this point, and ready to go with that saw that I just put away and that bench right there. So here's what I have. I top layered with a piece of 1/4 inch, which is again more like 3/16. That was the shim. That shimmed the saw up so the deck worked. Then the right side, the left side, and the back allow for the saw to slide all the way forward. The back feet will catch this, appropriately spacing this out so I can get to my fence lock lever. And it centers the saw at the same time. Of course, dust can fall through there. And I went ahead and drilled a port so I can get my vacuum up through and then connected to the back of the saw. So these are the things that I did to this cradle, and that I will of course do to the future cradle for the next table saw. All right, smart cradle, smart bench. Behind that is a Smart Cart version 1, and that is a smart trailer. I'm feeling pretty smart. At least I'm feeling like I have a lot of smart stuff around me. Y'all take care. Have a great day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It's a wonderful way to say thank you, and it's free to you. Ring that bell if you want to get notified when I drop a new video. That way you see me on the next video. And whatever you do when you go out there today, you take care. You have a great day because you deserve it. Take care. Bye.